We all have our little pet peeves, those little nuisances that drive you totally crazy. And when it comes to wrestling, many fans have their own annoyances that irk them like there's no tomorrow. Take Vince McMahon, who allegedly hates it when a wrestler is getting choked by someone and they don't grab the choker's arm with both hands. I was told this is actually a fireable offense in the WWE. Now when it comes to myself, I definitely have my fair share of pet peeves too. And as irritating as they may be, they're the topic of this episode. Because today, Dave knows pet peeves in wrestling. Adjusting. We all have times when our wardrobe doesn't exactly cooperate the way we want it to, but most of the time we can discreetly reposition our gear without having any problems. However, when you're in the middle of a wrestling match that's being viewed by millions and millions of people, discretion really isn't much of an option. Which is why one of my biggest pet peeves is when a wrestler who is supposed to be selling a move and playing up being hurt does so, but also makes a quick adjustment by pulling their shirt down or flipping their hair out of their face. It takes me out of the match and it just ruins the illusion. Also, if you have just been dropped on the ground by a big strong muscle man, your hair and clothes should look disheveled. Leaving it is just a better option. And what's really annoying is that even good wrestlers have been caught making these corrections, which makes it all the more worse. Looking at the count, there's nothing quite like a well-timed kickout at 2 3/4. However, that perfectly executed shoulder raise isn't really easy to pull off, which is why some wrestlers do another pet peeve of mine. They look directly at the ref as he's counting. When I see a pin E blatantly staring at the ref's hand and then they kick out at the last possible millisecond, I'm really not that impressed. When I can see you staring, I know you have no chance of taking the pin, so the suspense is over. Now, personally speaking, I prefer when a wrestler goes by the sound. In pro wrestling, we get a 3 count, which is a nice rhythm to build suspense. And yes, I know that some wrestlers look because with the loud arenas and the fact that their adrenaline is going, it can be kind of hard to hear the ref, even if he's smacking his hand directly next to your ear and shouting what number he's on. And I also know that this is only made worse by the fact that WWE refs are now not in on the finish and will count unless they see a kickout. Therefore, nobody wants to be caught taking an incorrect job. So unfortunately, they make sure to see the ref's hand at any cost. Bad cameras. Maybe it's the broadcaster in me, but I just can't stand bad camera work. Now, this is one of those areas that WWE tends to do better in than other companies. There are advantages to having big budgets, and I know that it's hard cutting on the fly and mistakes are bound to happen. But nevertheless, it's important to remember that there is a big difference between wrestling for the arena versus wrestling for the camera. And when doing the latter, quality camera work is obviously preferred, because it can be downright laughable when things happen like the camera cutting to a different shot that has the referee blocking it, or when we end up missing something that's really good because the focus was on something else. Furthermore, when the shot selection is done correctly, it prevents me from seeing my other pet peeves, which is just another reason why camera work is just so important. Rope break rules. Having to break a hold or a pin due to a wrestler touching the ropes is a logical rule. A hold, a pinfall, or a submission should occur within the bounds of the ring, and by going to the ropes, you are technically out of bounds. However, if two wrestlers are in a no DQ match, why do they let go? I've seen wrestlers inexplicably break holds while in a hardcore match with the referee telling them to break it up, which absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, but it definitely shouldn't have happened. Ever. Shoeless. Bare feet are gross, even in the wrestling ring. I understand that there are great wrestlers who have gone footloose and fancy-free, but all the same, ankle support is very important. And nobody wants to see your nasty feet, so boot it up. Leveling down. While I know it's common practice and one that some people even like, I hate it when a wrestler goes down in a tier level with championships. Once you're a world champion, I don't ever want to see you dip down to a mid-card belt. I know that some people see this as adding value to a mid-card championship, but I am still not a fan. As far as I'm concerned, a mid-card belt is there to reward you for your hard work as you rise through the ranks. And once you've made it, you get a world title as your crowning achievement. It's time for you to kick back and relax as a made man. But taking a demotion puts you back into the pool, taking up slots from other young talent and throws off the entire equation. If you want to elevate mid-card championships, then try not lowering them with substandard talent in the first place. If you're out of room for talent at the top, again, stop motoring up the main event with garbage. Champions first. Speaking of champions, I absolutely hate it when a champion comes out first for a title bout. The champion should always always come out last. Wrestling companies have made exceptions for this rule for big name stars or really elaborate entrances, but even so, I'm not a fan. And nowadays, WWE has just started letting champs walk out first for really no reason at all, which I just can't figure out for the life of me why any company wants to do that. Well, there you go, 7 wrestling pet peeves of mine, but what are some of yours? Let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for a very happy 2 years here on YouTube. Thanks so much again, and as always, Dave knows.